r/AskReddit by Reddit. People of Reddit, what's your insect horror story? I was 11ish and sleeping on the top bunk of a bunk bed in a basement. I woke up in the middle of the night with a spider half the size of a dinner plate on the ceiling just inches from my face. As I went to roll over to get out of the bed, it dropped onto me and I nearly spontaneously combusted. My roll out of bed turned into a swan dive. I have arachnophobia to this day. I laughed hard at the swan dive part. Awesome imagery lol. But, holy crap. No thanks. A friend from high school woke up one morning and thought her vision was going weird. Then she realized a nest of spiders had hatched and they were all hanging from the ceiling right in front of her face. She tried to roll out of bed without getting any on her, then ran straight to the shower. She was very jumpy that day at school. Oh hell no. Oh, this question was made for me. When I was a kid, about 8 or 9, I was taking a shower. A few ants started to crawl in. I was used to this because our house had many ants. Just little sugar ants. I just brushed them down the drain, not thinking much of them. However, a few more trickled in. A little uncomfortable with all the antage, I decided to cut my shower short. Well, you have no idea the absolute horror I would be met with. As I slid back the glass door, I glanced down at the side of the tub so I could step out. Instead of its usual white, though, it was a writhing mass of black. My way out of the shower was completely blocked by what looked like an entire colony of ants. I was trapped. I screamed and panicked, but when my parents came to see what was wrong, they saw that I had locked the door. Like a ducking dumbus, I had to face this horrible wall of evil. I had to step over the ducking monument to my suffering, praying I didn't touch the ever-changing pattern of blackness. And I stepped. And I yeeted out of that bathroom so fast you'd think Sonic ducked the Flash, and I was their child. Ever since I've had a phobia of bugs. Mostly ants. It's lessened over the years, and a lot over the past few months, since I got a pet tarantula. But ducking hell, I will never ever be okay with ants. See you in hell, you terrors. We rented a house in the countryside when I was like 16. My bedroom was in the old basement, made out of rocks and all. It was crawling with scorpions, centipedes and other insects, and I have a phobia. So I took a mattress and slept for the 2 weeks in the living room next to the chimney. However, one night I noticed that there was a buzzing sound coming from the chimney, so I took some insecticide and sprayed inside. Next thing I know, there was a hornet's nest in there, and they all left it to fly in the living room as soon as I sprayed it. In the meantime, there was a few scorpions in the room too. I spent the night under all my blankets, almost suffocating. What countryside? So I can stay the duck out of that particular countryside. Think it was around the Ardèche part of France. There's scorpions in France. Dad duck. First time I saw any, but yeah, there are. Like 4 centimeters wide and beige colored. Alrighty, strap in fellas. It was 2 years ago, and it was my last day in Tennessee. I was about 30 minutes from Nashville getting ready to start my day and go to Nashville Pride. I go outside to move my car because my friend's dad was weeding at the curb where I was parked. Just as I'm about to walk in the door, I feel something hit my ear. I go to the bathroom and start shaking my head trying to get whatever it is out. That's when I feel it go inside my ear canal. I still wasn't sure what it was at this point, so I go upstairs and tell my friend, I think there's a bug in my ear. She thought I was joking or didn't take me seriously, so we went downstairs for breakfast. Her mom had made muffins, very good muffins. But that's when I started to feel it move. There is no pain worse than a bug trying to escape your ear. They finally realized the seriousness of the situation and we started trying to figure out what to do. Her mom tried to flush it out with water, but it was too big, so they had to go to the store and get peroxide. Longest 15 minutes of my life. I sat there holding pressure against my ear while it wiggled around, and they're trying to get out while I was just trying to relieve the pain. They got back, put the peroxide in my ear, and killed it, so at least it wasn't moving anymore. It's at this point we decide I need to go to a doctor, but the closest hospital was in Nashville 30 minutes away, and I was the only one able to drive, as my friend is blind as a bat, and if her mom drove she'd have to bring all 6 of the kids. So we opted instead for the urgent care down the street. Big mistake. That woman poked and prodded at my ear, gave me no numbing treatment, and yelled at me as I cried from the pain. In the end I left with it still in my ear, side of my ear and head covered in blood, and exhaustion taking over. When we got back to her house I felt defeated and decided I was going to take a nap. When I had woken up from my nap her mom had told the whole neighborhood. One of the neighbors being a military doctor. He had all his supplies at his house and offered for us to come over and get the situation dealt with. He put 5 numbing shots in my face as well as a numbing gel. He got a long thin pair of plastic tweezers and worked out a while to get it out. All the while his 5-year-old daughter is sitting there asking, "Is the bug out, daddy?" But after a little while and some mental obstacles he got it out. It was a Japanese beetle, fat duckers. He said that the urgent care women made it worse as it was stuck in the dry blood. He gave me a cola and an ice cream and I was good to go. My hearing is still not the same. I probably need a hearing aid and I'm horribly afraid of bugs. And that's my story of the beetle in my ear, a freak accident that I will remember forever. Still mad I missed Pride. At work, in a hole dug out of the ground for a foundation. Noticed there's about 40 other species stuck in this hole. Start making ramps for them out of plywood and putting them in the corners of the hole. Notice large spiders are also in the hole. I live in NJ. These were wolf spiders, probably eating other insects/small amphibians. Most of the frogs escape after about 3 hours. After lunch, I go in to make sure everything is alright down there. I see a little frog stuck in the mud, struggling to get out. I reach down to pick him up as my boss asks what I'm doing. Look up at my boss, feel the frog on my hand, reach my hand in the air, and say saving this little guy. As I see the look of horror on my boss's face, I look at my hand. There's a wolf spider the size of my palm crawling down my arm as fast as it can, with an egg sac. Long story short, I scrambled all over the site for the next 10 minutes trying to make sure it was gone. Never trying to save a frog again. I'm a giant wuss and would prefer not to Google wolf spider. Can someone describe what it looks like? Discount tarantula. So I went outside to check up on my dog and I saw something fly by the lamp we have overseeing the dog pen. As I open the door I feel it do a close flyby of my hair and instinctively swat at it. I stand still for a second, making sure I'm okay, and I got it. Then I felt something moving in my hair. Now I remember a distinct second where I thought as I closed the dog pen door. Okay, this is the part where I stay calm or freak out. I will not freak out. I'll just get it out of my hair. Probably just a beetle, no biggie. I reach into my hair and immediately grab the unmistakable, prickly legs of a huge flying cockroach. My bones are immediately chilled and I begin to suppress a guttural squeal as I frantically swat at my own head and throw my hair back and forth. I probably looked like I was listening to heavy metal, and after a few seconds of panicked flailing, I didn't feel it anymore. I still felt deeply disturbed and started running towards the door leading inside my house. I could have sworn to hear that insidious skin crawling buzz of its wings flapping erratically somewhere in the darkness, which only hastened my steps. I didn't even think about why I had come out in the first place, if I had looked the pen door behind me, or what that weird brown spot was coming towards me. The moment it landed on my face, and I felt its prickly legs on my cheek and nose, I felt my entire soul just leave my body, only brought back by the forceful slap I gave myself in the face trying to get it off me. Naturally, by the time I made it inside, I was hysterical and freaking the duck out. I wiped at my face for so long with soap and a loofah, never able to scrub that feeling of it off my face. My brother made fun of me for freaking out of a little bug flying around, but I bet he would have ducking screamed if it happened to him, like any normal person would have reacted. It's always funny when it happens to someone else. If you don't react this way, I'm convinced you're a sociopath. Oof, okay. So I work as a home health aide, just got assigned a new client, and got 3 hours a week with her. She lives in a not very nice area of my hometown with her daughter, who is similarly disabled. There was some sort of intellectual disability there too, but the main problem with her situation was the hoarding. They weren't bad as far as hoarders go, but I knew it the second the door was open. If you've ever worked with a hoarder, there is a smell that goes with it, a rotten yeasty smell that I always associate with fossilized chicken crap. Yes, there is a story, not the post for it. I start cleaning to the best of my ability. Here, 3 hours is only going to trudge the worst of it, so I did my best to set them up for success. I start putting the food away. Food hoarding was their brand. Clearing the kitchen, so they had a clean working space. Bleaching everything I touched because of the roaches. I'm not super squeamish about bugs outside of spiders and earwigs, so I was dealing with it pretty calmly until they had a coat closet / pantry between the living room and the kitchen. Since the kitchen table was stacked some 2 feet high with canned goods and cereal, I mentioned that we might be able to put some things in the closet to clear up more space. I opened the closet door and a literal shower of roaches fell on top of me. I was screaming. Hundreds of roaches were on me, and the client was sitting there telling me that she just couldn't understand where they were all coming from. The entire time I worked with them, as soon as I got home I would strip naked in my garage, wrap everything in plastic, take a hot shower and scrub everything, and then throw my clothes in the laundry. TLDR, I opened a closet door in a food hoarder's house, and had roaches fall all over me. Thank you for watching Reddit. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more r/AskReddit videos. Share your stories in the comments section below.